Jessi Mendoza. After completing his competent communicator designation, Jessi is now starting the new Pathways program, which we heard a little bit about. And this speech is on the persuasive influence path. It's a level 2 speech around understanding your leadership style. 5 to 7 minutes, Doreen. The speech is titled The Leader Within Me. Jessi Mendoza, The Leader Within Me.
Fellow Toastmasters, guests, have you ever had a leader, a boss, or another supervisor that has been difficult to work with? Well, unfortunately, I was one of those leaders at one point in time. I hate to admit it, but I was. I joined a nonprofit board. I really wasn't quite sure what I was doing or signing up for. Had no clue, just went into it kind of blind. I knew I wanted to join and I wanted to serve a higher purpose, and so I decided to join a scholarship nonprofit board. In less than a year, I was eventually, you could say, promoted to becoming the president of this nonprofit board. It wasn't a large board, it was a very small working board. There was only about 4 of us. And very quickly, I had to discover what these weaknesses were that I had to work on as far as leading this group, leading this effort, and for a higher purpose. I had to work on myself and increase my own self-awareness to understand what does this group need, where are we going, and how are we actually going to get there. After taking the Toastmasters leadership questionnaire, it came out that I have a democratic approach. Now, what a democratic approach comes to be is I like to gather input and feedback from the group in order to get to the best outcome. I like to gather the ideas, the suggestions. I just believe we all get a lot further once everybody gets to share, because we are all different. We all come from different perspectives, and that at the end, we're able to come out with a much better outcome than what we started out with any one individual idea. Sort of like an orchestra too. If it's just a trumpet or a violin or cello, whatever it is, I think just that diversity alone amongst not only perspectives and ideas, but also it's that sharing and combination. And that's what I believe in, and that's my primary leadership style. The second one is coaching style. That came up as the second highest point, you could say. I like developing and helping others and sharing my ideas and my perspectives and trying to coach them along and help them in their own journey. There were a couple key experiences during my presidency during this nonprofit as I was serving that really stood out to me, that really kind of blew it in my face as far as like my own weaknesses, and also gave me my perspective on what I could be doing better and what I was doing well. One of them was with our secretary. We'll call him Lonnie to protect his privacy here. Now Lonnie, he was very animated. He liked to share his ideas and everything, very active. He wanted to contribute any way he could. As secretary, I was like, okay, well, we'll need you to write up the minutes and make sure you get those to me by the next board meeting so we could vote on them and so forth. Well, those minutes never really came, and it just kept being delayed. I quickly realized I need to be more assertive and work. He was my peer, and actually I think he may have been maybe a year or two older than me. So to me it felt weird telling a peer, like, no, and we were all volunteers. So to me, it's not like I could necessarily fire him per se, but I really needed those minutes. And it was very frustrating for me to have to come back to him, and I really wasn't sure how to hold him accountable for getting those minutes to me. I had to find out what is actually going to help him get them to me. It turns out his wife is a very good delegator, I guess you could say, and she likes to take those sort of things on. So what I ended up doing is got his wife on the board, and she started writing up the minutes for us. That started to work much, much better for us. The second experience was with our treasurer. Now, granted, I value the ideas, the feedback from everybody. Well, she was very shy, and she was my cousin too. I had to find a way to get her to break that shell. After the board meetings, she would send me these long, detailed emails suggesting different ideas and recommendations, and at the board meetings, she would only share a very short, quick snippet. She was right down into the numbers. Not messing around, she got right to it. And that's all we would find out during the board meetings. It wasn't anything additional on the ramifications or implications of future financial contributions or distributions and that sort of thing too, which definitely is valuable information to know. I coached her along and helped her with typing those things up prior to the board meeting, so that way she could either simply read out the report or share it however she could. And that slowly she started to feel a little bit more comfortable sharing it more in a group setting. This really taught me so much about what areas I needed to work on. And one of the key things and key leadership styles that I really like to work on is called the servant leadership style. This style has kind of been a big buzzword lately around the leadership atmosphere, and I think, to me, how I interpret that is like I need to have enough self-awareness beforehand so I could work on those obstacles and those weaknesses of mine and surround myself with stronger people that could kind of bridge the gap amongst my own weaknesses too. And also deploy enough empathy and meet those individuals where they're at. They may be timid, they might be scared, it may not be to their strength, but I had to find out how I could work with those in order to produce the best result for the board and the organization. There's many different leadership styles out there, from autocratic to coaching style, democratic, and just transactional, people that just want to get down to business. The key thing is to find out what your best leadership style is and use your strengths to your advantage in order to produce the best result for the group. Thank you.